Okay, so welcome to lecture once again, guys. Now in this lecture, I'm going to talk about views inside MySQL. So we talked about a table, we talked about joins, we talked about a subquery, we talked about aggregation and so many things, right? With respect to our tables. And yeah, we are able to extract our data in the easiest possible way. That's not a big deal at all for us. Now, so views comes into a picture. So when we are looking for some sort of abstraction, maybe some sort of a security, or maybe we have to run some sort of a query again and again and again. So what we can do is we can try to create a virtual table. So this virtual table is technically called as a view in other way, right? In other way, in a layman way, you can even say that view is nothing but a set of the query. That's it, right? Nothing more than that. So view is the set of the queries on an ad hoc basis. You will be able to execute it. That is something called as a view. So let's go ahead and let's try to create a view, and then by creating it, by using it in a practical manner, let's try to understand it. So I'm going to write a couple of queries by which you will be able to create a virtual table. Now, so here I'm going to use a same database, the database which I have already used in my previous lecture. Yeah. So let me like execute this part, and I'm going to use this customer sales data set. And then I'm going to use the same table, a customer table or maybe a sales table. And inside that you must be able to see our views. So we'll see how we can try to create a views inside the table. So here to create a view, you just have to write a function, you just have to write the command called as create and then view, V-I-E-W, C-R-E-A-T, create, V-I-E-W, create view. And then you can try to give a view name just like you try to give a table name. So here, customer summary. This is like, for example, a view name I have given as, and then after that, what kind of a data you would like to store inside the view. So maybe I can try to like do something like select customer underscore ID and then customer underscore name, right? And then maybe a city from the customer table, customer name, and then city from the customer table. So CUSTOMERS, customers table. So we all know that this is going to fetch a data about a customer ID, customer name, and a city from this customer table, right? And now I'm going to store it inside this particular view. But yeah, technically it's just a query. It is not going to store a data in a physical manner. Now, so unknown column customer ID. So okay, customer 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 ID. Okay, now let's try to execute it. Now once I'm going to execute it and once I'm going to refresh it, inside this panel you will be able to see a view, right? A view which is holding how many columns? Which is holding basically 3 columns. And on top of this view, right, the way we try to query our table, in the similar manner I can try to query my views as well. So for example, inside this customer table, so I had 4 columns: customer ID, customer name, city, and joining date. But I have just created this view, and inside this view I just have only 3 columns, right? Now here, if I'm going to write select a star from customer summary, so customer summary, which is nothing but a view. It's not a table, right? It's not a table, but I can try to do a query like a table. See, customer summary is what? A view, by the way, right? And here, so when I'm trying to query, so obviously it is having only 3 columns. So it's a subset of the table which I have created, or you can say a filtered table that I have created. And here, so I'm trying to achieve the abstraction. So I don't want to like give an access of the entire table to someone, right? So what I want is that I don't want to give a complete access to the customer table. I just wanted to give a limited access. Whoever is going to use this like a customer summary, they will be having a limited access. They will not be able to access a joining date of the customer maybe, right? So I can try to create a view and then I can try to give an access just for these 3 columns or column of my choice, and everyone who is accessing this particular view, they will be able to get only an access of a limited one. That's it, right? So here is this. Now, so next query which I'm going to like write down. So here we can try to create another view. So create view, and this time so I can write a customer view for customer total sales. Again, customer total sales as. Now here inside this particular view or inside this virtual table, so I'm going to store a customer ID and a sales amount as a total sales, right? Sales amount of the customer, total sales for the customer ID. So let's see. So select SELECT, select customer, CUSTUMER, customer ID, and then try to do a summation of basically a sale amount for the customer. Yeah, customer as a total sales alias from where? So from sales table, yeah, from the sales table, and then I'm going to perform group by operation. So group by what? So group by, then I'm going to perform basically a group by operation, group by customer ID. So just try to group everyone with the help of customer ID and then try to get the sales amount, a summation of total sales amount with respect to the customer ID. And then try to create a virtual table, and inside that try to store this information. So here if I'm going to refresh once again, so I must be having another view. So here total sales, and inside this view I have a customer ID and the total sales. I can try to query this view. I can try to query this particular view. So select basically this customer total sales. So I can just write select star from this customer total sales, and it is going to give me the whole data. Yeah, it is going to give me the whole data. Now, so we have created two view. One is a customer summary view and one is a customer total sales view. In case of customer total sales view, so we are using a aggregation function. So we are using a summation function. Summation function is technically a aggregation function. Now, wherever aggregation function comes into a picture, so you will not be able to manipulate it. You will not be able to perform any kind of a insert, update or delete operation with respect to this particular view. Whereas, so in case of this one, I will be able to perform insert, update and delete operations. So again, there is a restriction on a view. If there is an aggregation operation, you will not be able to perform insert, update or a delete operation. So even with respect to a join, let's suppose I have like created a view by joining some of the table, I will not be able to perform any kind of a manipulation over there. Yeah, manipulation over there. Let's suppose I would like to create a virtual table. So where I would like to give a limited access of a column, right? Limited access of the column from two tables. So customer table and the sales table. So yeah, I can do that. Maybe I can use the join, and based on the join, so I can try to create one of the table, and then I can try to give an access as a view to my user or anyone from my team basically. So here I can try to create a view. So view customer underscore PURCHASCS purchases as, so this is the view name which I have given. So create view customer purchases, and then select from customers. I'm giving alias as C. So select from customers. Select what? I'll write down in a later stage. So select from a customer C and join with a sales table S. So customer table name is basically customers. See, join with the sales table, right? On what? So we have already done the join operation. So on what? So on C dot customer ID and then S dot customer ID. These are the foreign key and primary key. Yeah. So based on this, now what we are supposed to select, what we are supposed to store. So maybe I would, based on this like a join operation, so I would like to store a customer name, CUSTOMER, customer name from the customer table, customer name from the customer table, and then maybe I would like to like save a product name from the product table, sales table, and then maybe I would like to like store a sale amount from the sale table, and maybe I would like to like store a sale date from the sales table. Yeah. So I would like to create a view where I would like to store this information. Some information is coming from customer table, some information is coming from the sale table based on the join operation that I have done based on this constraint. Yeah. So now if I'm going to execute it, I will be able to get my another view. Yeah, I will be able to get my another view. So which is a customer purchase view. So this is my customer purchase view. I have a customer name, product, sales amount and date. So anyone and everyone who would like to like look for this data, they can just try to access this particular view and they will be able to get customer name, product name, sale amount and the sales date in a easiest possible way. I have already prepared a data for them. So this is how, and this is where you will be able to find out, guys, that I'm giving an access of the data, right? So whatever data which I'm preparing over there, I'm just trying to give an access of that data to any of my user who is going to use it today, tomorrow, or maybe in a later stage at any point of a time. Yeah. Now, so I have created 3 views over here. Let's suppose I would like to drop that particular view, right? If I would like to drop that particular view. So what I can do, how I can do it? So drop and then view, right? And then I can write if exist. So drop view if exist, and then maybe I would like to drop this particular view. I would like to drop this particular view. So it is going to drop it, as you can see. Yeah. So now if I'm going to refresh it, I don't have a customer purchase. I just have a customer summary and customer total sales over here in these 2 places, right? So in these 2 places. And like I told you in a beginning itself, so if you are using aggregation or if you're using a join operation to create a view, your view will not be used for insert, update, or delete kind of operation. Otherwise, you can use your view even for insert, update, and delete kind of a operation. So hope this makes sense to all of you, and just try to solve a couple of assignment problem. You will be able to get 100% idea out of this one. With this, thank you so much, everyone. Take care and see you again in my next lecture.